Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, folks. This is the More Money Show. We are on WABC and affiliates throughout the country. Now it is my great privilege and pleasure to introduce to you the great Republican senator from the state of Florida, Rick Scott, who he's been in the Senate for many years, but he also served 2 terms as Florida's Republican governor and did amazing things to turn around the state of Florida and turn it into the dynamic state that it is today. So, Senator, it's just a privilege to have you on. By the way, do you prefer to be called senator or governor?
Oh, probably Rick.
Well, you've been amazing.
The best job is grandpa, really. I've got 7 grandkids. That's actually the best title.
I'm waiting. I have 3 sons, but none of them have had kids yet. So I'm waiting to be a grandpa. So I'm going to call you senator because that's your current position. Yeah. Rick Scott is one of my 3 or 4 favorite senators in the United States Senate. I love Rick Scott. I love Rand Paul. I love Senator Kramer of North Dakota, and I'm a big fan of Mike Lees of Utah. But you guys are fighting kind of a lonely fight as strong free market conservatives, even in your own caucus. I want to start with this. You are an expert, probably the smartest guy, undoubtedly the smartest guy in the United States Congress on healthcare because you built an incredible healthcare company. Why are Republicans why are they running away from getting rid of the fraud in Medicaid, which even the government's own auditors, as you know, Senator, say about $150 billion being stolen from the taxpayers from that Medicaid program. So give us a status of what's going on. How can we reform these healthcare programs? We can't let them continue to grow at this rate.
We don't have a choice. I mean, think about this. We are running $2 trillion deficits.
Yes.
We've seen a 53% increase in spending in 5 years and a 2% increase in our population.
Oh, my God.
Interest rates are not at an all-time high. They might be up, but they're not even close to an all-time high. Inflation is not going away. So all the fraud that's going on, and part of it's in healthcare. We have on an annual basis, we're having over $200 billion a year of improper payments and things going the wrong way.
Incredible.
It's staggering.
By the way, I just want to stop you there. You're saying 200 billion, not 200 million.
Yeah, 200 billion. Okay.
200 billion.
And by the way, think what we're talking about right now. We're all in to continue the tax cuts, right? Because they work.
Yes.
They work.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
We're all in to make sure we secure the border. Makes sense. We want safety. We're all in to make sure we have a military that can defend the freedom of this country. But guess what? We're anticipating to spend, according to the CBO, $89 billion.
Jeez.
Right? $89 billion in the next 10 years. You know what they're talking about cutting of that, even though we've had just over a 50% increase in the last 5 years? Well, less than 2%.
Right. Yeah.
Come on. If you want interest rates to come down, if you want inflation to go away, that's what our voters want, by the way.
Yes.
That's what they voted on. They voted for secure border, get inflation under control. We have got to get rid of this, like the fraud and abuse. And let's get these programs back to what they're intended for. You know what Medicaid's intended for? Poor kids, people with chronic illnesses, the disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what it's for. So I grew up in public housing. I remember when my brother couldn't get health care. And my mom had to find a Shriners Hospital 4 hours away to get him health care.
Right.
That same kid today because the way the Medicaid program works might not get care. But guess what? Some able-bodied adult that doesn't want to go to work, they can go get care. This is ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
We got to think, why do we have these programs?
Yep.
And we got to get rid of this waste and fraud and abuse, all this stuff. It makes me mad.
Yeah, one of the things that's going on with that program, Senator, that I'm sure you're aware of being from the state of Florida, is that some of these big blue states like New York and California are just robbing the program. So in California, according to the Wall Street Journal, California is going to get $125 billion in 2025 from Medicaid. And they're using that money, which is supposed to be for providing the indigent with health care, they're using that money to balance their budget.
Yeah, Steve, here's what you realize. Here's what you do. You can go tax a Medicaid organization in your state that provides care. Let's say you tax them, $1 million. Then you go to the federal government and say, "Hey, I got $1 million. Will you put up some money?" And they put up $800,000, and you go back and you give that Medicaid organization $1 million, and then you get to pocket $800,000.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, you can't create this more stupid program. I mean, we've got to get rid of this idea that first off, we pay states 90% to take care of an able-bodied adult that might not want to go to work.
It's unbelievable.
But we pay as little as 50 cents for somebody that's disabled or is a child that needs health care. I mean, let's go back to our priorities. What are we thinking about?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
we're being taken advantage of, and we're not taking care of the people that we should be taking care of.
Well, it's a great point. I know you make this point, but I wish more of your colleagues would reiterate what you've been saying, which is that if you want to save Medicaid and make sure that people who, I keep reading about, oh my gosh, Republicans are going to take away rural hospitals, or Republicans are going to, pregnant women aren't going to get prenatal care and stuff. And that's nonsense.
No, it's nonsense. If you want somebody to get care, focus on taking care of them. Right.
Right.
Spend the money where it's supposed to go. Don't spend the money. Don't spend the money on people that don't want to even go to work. Right. So I mean, this is it's foolish. I think about I mostly focus on how do you take care of the people like my little brother growing up. That he just wanted to have a normal life. He wanted to be able to get a job when he got out of school. He wanted to have health care. That's who we ought to be focused on. And so instead, what the Democrats have done is they want to throw money at everything and then say, well, if you take a dime away, something's going to fall apart. And just think about our rural hospitals. We've got to protect our rural hospitals. All right. But let's always remember that our rural hospitals should focus on what they're good at. Right. What should they be good? They should be very good at emergency care, really good at emergency care. But there's certain things that you want somebody that does a lot of it. So you'll go to a bigger city to get that done. So we need to allocate our dollars in a manner that you get the best health care, right? Because when you're going to have a big surgery, you want to go to the best doctor in the country. And that's probably not in a rural area.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, cause Clear the Rack is on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through Monday, find incredible deals on Wear Now styles. On sale for even less at Nordstrom Rack. Take an extra 25% off red tag clearance throughout the store from brands like Free People, Steve Madden, Vince, and more. All sales final. The best stuff goes fast. So shop this sale at Nordstrom Rack today. Please see NordstromRack.com or ask a store associate for details.
Your snacking routine can get a little dull.
time for an Oikos remix. Like a crunchy storm of sea salt praline pretzels, dark chocolate, and butter toffee, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 3 Oikos Remix varieties with epic mix-ins and 11 grams of complete protein per 4.5-ounce serving. See remixyogurt.com.
Right. So how are you feeling about things right now? I understand the House is getting their reconciliation bill done on the tax bill. We haven't heard what they're going to do on the spending front. But I hear that there are a lot of, the more squishy Republicans who are saying, well, we can't cut Medicaid. We can't cut any of these programs, even though they've been growing like weeds. I had on my show a few weeks ago, Ron Johnson, your colleague there in the Senate from Wisconsin. And he was saying, and I wonder what you think about this, that he was saying if we could just go back to the level of funding before COVID for a lot of these programs, we could practically balance the budget.
That's right. I mean, Ron he's done a really good job of showing people if we go back to pre-pandemic spending,
right,
we're pretty close to balance the budget. And then if you look at if we implement Trump, his regulatory environment, his licensing environment, his tax environment, then we should be able to grow this economy faster and our revenues grow. When I became governor of Florida, I walked into a budget deficit. So what did I do? I cut taxes. We didn't do that. Guess what? Revenues went up. I reduced the regulatory environment. Revenues went up. I made it easier to get a permit. Revenues went up. And guess what? We added jobs. We added 1.7 million jobs in my 8 years. So if you think about it, a smaller government, more focused government is going to mean we'll collect more revenues, and then we can make sure we have the revenues to put into things we care about.
So there's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on this show, Senator, I'm talking to Rick Scott, this senator from Florida, is that I was just looking at these numbers, and I'm sure you're familiar with them, having been governor of Florida for 8 years, that right now today, it's just astonishing to me because most of our listeners are in the New York metropolitan area. So Florida per person spends half as much money as New York does in terms of government spending. So Florida spends half as much money per person as New York does, but you've got better services.
Let me give you.
How do you do that? How do you
one,
spend half as much money as New York and you have better services than New York does?
Because we pay for results. I'm a business guy, right? I build businesses, built the largest hospital company, built a variety of manufacturing companies. Guess what? In my business life, what I said, what's our purpose here? Let's all decide. This is what we're going to do. And guess what? We're going to pay our employees, and we're going to get bonuses tied to results. So take higher education. I said, when I became governor, I said, we're going to allocate the dollars based on 3 things. What's it cost to get a degree? So we're going to keep our costs down. We have the lowest tuition in the country for a university system. We're going to, based on, do you get a job and how much money you make? What were you thinking about when you went to school? Those 3 things. Guess what? By the time I left, and now for 9 straight years, we've become the #1 higher education system in the country.
Wow.
We put our
and by the way, it's affordable, right? People in Florida can afford to go to college.
And it's about $6,500 tuition each year, and there's some of our state colleges you can get for $10,000 total tuition. You can get a 4-year degree, right? So then on Medicaid, we said we're going to actually direct the money to somebody that's responsible to make sure you're healthy, and so that saved us money, right? Then our K-12 education, we said we're going to have parent choice because guess what? Parents are better chooser of what the right school is for their kid than anybody else. And guess what? Top 5 in the K-12 education. And we worked with the law enforcement. By the time I left, #1 higher education, top 5 in K-12 education. We had a Medicaid program that people had good access, good quality care that we could afford. And we were a 47-year low on our prime rate. All because we dedicated our tax dollars for a result, not dedicate our tax dollars to say, oh, we're going to feel good because we spent some money.
So it's amazing. I mean, you've had at least three great governors in a row in Florida. You had Jeb Bush, a fantastic governor, and then I think, did you succeed Jeb?
Yeah, I remember Charlie Crist was there for 4 years.
Oh yeah, that wasn't so good.
No,
so I stand corrected.
But I'll tell you what, people should compliment Jeb for this. he started the process of fixing our K-12 system.
Yes.
And he's actually done it around the country.
Yep.
And so that's part of the reason why we have the K-12 system we have is we have great parent choice.
Yes.
Parents are choosing that, they're choosing, and we have a great homeschool program. So, it's like, it's your dollars. I think on Medicaid, we get paid from the federal government 1/3 of what New York gets per patient. 1/3. MRIs cost the same in Florida as they do in New York. Right.
So one of the things one of the things I find so fascinating is you've got we have 4 big states in America, as you know. You've got California, Texas, New York, and Florida. Those are the 4. I think 40% of the population lives in those 4 states. And yet you look at the difference between what's happening in Florida and Texas and what's happening in California and New York. And Gavin Newsom has run that state into the toilet. I mean, they've got the biggest budget, the highest taxes, and he wants to run for president. I mean, I'd love to see you run against Gavin Newsom for president in 2 years and put the Florida example, how you did it in Florida versus what happens in California. By the way, there were probably hurricanes when you were governor, right? Well, you didn't let the whole state go to hell. I mean, Gavin Newsom let the fires burn, and they burned down half of Los Angeles. I mean, so my point is, leadership matters. You were an incredible leader of Florida, and you've got these dingbats running New York and California. Maybe you could move to California and become the governor there.
That it would be fun to turn it around. Because you can.
Do you think? No, seriously. Do you think you could?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, any state can accomplish what we did in Florida if you base it. Your government has to be an accountable government. You have to say, what is our purpose? That's what we're going to do. We're not going to spend our time doing things that is not our purpose. And get people to work. I grew up working. So from time I was 7, I worked. People in this country get to work. Get off the couch. Go get a job. It's better for everybody.
So we have literally 1 minute left, and I'm talking to the great senator from Florida, Rick Scott. And literally got 60 seconds, Senator. So can we get a budget that actually does something to bring our massive $2 trillion deficit down?
Absolutely. But what we got to do is we got to do what I did as governor. There's 4,000 lines of the budget in Florida. I went through every line, every year. We had a written purpose. We need to do the exact same thing with the federal spending.
Yep, it's pretty simple. Senator Rick Scott, you are a national treasure. Thank you so much for what you do to and for our country.